Part 1, The Departure, in which my younger sisters and I find a drowned man in the Rio Grande, and how, with Llorona as our mystical guide, we take a trip across the Eagle Pass border to return him to his family in El Sacrificio, Coahuila, Mexico. Prologue. El caso. Hazme caso o te caso con un sapo. The pot. Listen to me, or I will make you marry a toad. A play on the multiple meanings of the word caso, pay attention, and wed or marry. Almost a year after our father left the house, never to be heard from again, the long, miserable drought ended in Texas. The heavy summer rains had more than enchanted everyone. The days that followed had brought forth a most unexpected and spectacular surprise. To our delight, an unusually large brood of American snout butterflies swarmed Eagle Pass by the billions. Indiscriminate in taste, the Mariposas littered over cultivated gardens as happily as they danced over thorn-ridden lots and neglected fields. To them, nothing was safe, nothing was sacred. Because they were everywhere, clinging to freshly scrubbed laundry on clotheslines or stuck to the bottom of well-heeled shoes, the butterflies were on everyone's most wanted list, including Mama's. She hated sweeping their little corpses out of her kitchen and off her porch, but she especially hated how they followed her everywhere like a dark little cloud. That same summer, Mama stopped being a housewife. After admitting to herself that Papa wasn't going to send any more money, she'd done the responsible thing and gone out and found her very first job. As for us, we tried staying indoors and playing loteria like Mama instructed. It was difficult, however, because to play loteria, we needed a caller, un cantor, and Papa had always been ours. A good cantor can recite the traditional riddles for all 54 cards in the loteria by heart, as he reveals each card to the players. Riddles like El caso que te hago es poco were all right, but to keep things interesting, Papa had always altered the riddles and personalized them to fit our family. We'd squirm and giggle with joy and excitement every time a new riddle featured one of us. One day, however, right before he left, Papa made up a particularly ominous riddle. La sirena, he called, holding up the card for the mermaid. La mujer who wants to take your papa away. No, we won't let her. My parents were like any other parents. They bickered and made up all the time. But that day, the riddle upset Mama so much that the fight it stirred between them soured the game for Papa. From then on, we played loteria as a family with less and less frequency. So it was no surprise that after he left, we lost interest in playing the game altogether. The summer of the Mariposas, we abandoned our beloved loteria for good, neglected our chores, and went completely wild. We cared for no one but each other, not even Mama. Because we were always unsupervised, we finally had the freedom to do whatever we wanted, wherever we wanted, whenever we wanted. On rainy days, I'd read a book and watch the girls as they played in the crowded shed behind our house. But on scorching summer days, when the pavement was so hot you couldn't sit on it, they made aluminum bracelets and arm cuffs out of the bottoms of soda cans they rubbed against hot cement sidewalks. Sometimes they even costumed themselves with dusty curtains and old tablecloths, scissoring through the faded fabric with Mama's gardening shears or tearing them apart with their bare hands. And when Mama would get upset because we weren't helping, we'd whine and then scrub out a pan or two before we'd take off again. Honestly, there was just too much fun to be had to pay her any mind. Some days we'd hike the hills beyond El Indio Highway, following the swarm of mariposas. They'd become our little shadows, our companions, as much a part of us as we were to each other. Most days, however, we rode our bikes as far away from home as we could get, a flighty brood of the tiny butterflies straggling behind us. With our chubby little sister, Pita, sitting precariously on the handlebars of my bike, we pedaled down the river, rode through one of the large gaps in the 11-foot border fence, and swam for hours at a time without drinking or eating anything more than the watermelons we chilled in the bank of our river. The waters of the Rio Grande were unruly and loud, but we had found an alcove far off El Indio Highway, a pebbled niche where the current swelled in peacefully and stayed for a while, as if to rest from its long, draining journey over boulders and through canyons, all the way from California down to our miniature bay in Eagle Pass. There it pooled, relaxed, cleansed itself, and bubbled into laughter at the sheer joy of having us in its mists. We splashed around in that cold, clear water like river nymphs, born to swim and bathe till the end of days. It was a magical time, full of dreaminess and charm, a time to watch the mariposas emerge from their cocoons, gather their courage, and take flight while we floated face up in the water. And that's exactly what we were doing the morning the body of a dead man drifted into our swimming heaven.